Meteorologist JD Dishroon here. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we're getting ready for a pretty active night ahead in terms of our severe threat. We're going to be watching for the chance for showers and storms. We already have severe alerts in northwest Georgia, and we'll continue to watch that as it pushes off towards the south and the east. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're tracking today and tonight. Really just going to be scattered showers and storms with this line that's going to be pushing on through. Tomorrow, rounds of rain give us widespread showers and thunderstorms, and that's why both tonight and tomorrow are first alert weather days. So here's that live look at radar for right now. Notice we do have severe thunderstorm warnings for northwest Georgia already, including folks up into the Floyd County area, Gordon County, and Chattooga County. This is going to be for this line of storms that's going to be pushing in towards the Rome area as we go into the next few minutes or so. All of this is in association with a line of storms that's just really kind of pushing back across the southeast. And if you take a look, it's almost 200 miles, in fact, a little bit over 200 miles straight of severe thunderstorm warnings with this particular line. And if you're wondering, why are these little ones back here down to the southeast? They don't look too bad. Why are they getting a warning? It's because they have just one radar site turned on right now to give us a better look at it. But they're just as intense if you turned on the Birmingham or the Montgomery radars. Right now, though, we're going to be using Peachtree City because even though these storms in North Georgia are closer to the Huntsville radar, it's been knocked offline due to these storms. So it just goes to show you the potential for these storms to be severe and to cause damage right now. So as we take a look, we do have for northwest Georgia severe thunderstorms stretching from basically far western Fannin County with this particular cell, and then we're going to be seeing the potential for severe weather to continue through Gordon County. Calhoun, you're not in the warning quite yet, but you may be added as we go into the next several minutes or so, and then down in towards Rome. As for our Alabama counties, you're not included quite yet, but that warning does go into Anniston. It's butting up against you right now as we go into the evening hours. So something that we'll keep an eye on basically as we go into the next few hours or so. So if you see me looking down like this, it's basically because I'm looking at my phone to get the latest information from the National Weather Service just to kind of see what we have going on. So our Murchie High School, Floyd County EMA is saying that they do have some pretty strong squall clouds that are rolling through your area. Makes sense given the fact that you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So, we're just basically going to be watching as we head into this evening what's going to be happening. So far, the biggest thing that we've seen from these storms are strong damaging straight line winds and some large hail. The most common threat that we've had already today is pea-sized hail with this storm that's moving through Dalton, now moving in through Murray County, and that's what's triggering the warning for extreme western Fannin County up here just to the west of Blue Ridge. But we've had reports of some nickel and even quarter-sized hail in these storms as they rolled through Chattanooga, up through Lafayette, I should say, and then back down towards the Fort Payne area in Alabama. So while the storms don't appear to be quite as strong as they were just an hour ago, they are still seeing the potential for that severe weather, which is why we do have that threat for severe weather to move on in. I'm going to go ahead and change the graphic real quick because I want to show you the timing on all this as we head into the evening hours. Notice here 7 p.m. That's where we're at now, watching these showers and storms move through northwest Georgia. And then as we get into the overnight hours, notice another round of showers and storms is going to be pushing on through. So this is going to be just wave after wave after wave of rain as we go through Friday night, obviously tonight, and then on in through your Saturday until this front passes us by. Now, once it does that, it's absolutely gorgeous weather as we go into the evening hours on your Saturday and into Sunday as well. So here's a severe thunderstorm watch. Right now, we have the severe thunderstorm watch for our Georgia counties until 11 p.m. Eastern time. For our Alabama counties, it's going to be until 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I know a lot of folks who vacation out on the lake out there in Lake Wedowee tend to keep their watch on Eastern time if they're from the state of Georgia, so we want to give both of you to it. So that watch in Alabama until 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Notice, though, even though we've had the ping pong ball sized hail is a possibility. Pea-sized hail has been the most common. Quarter size is what we had up in Chattanooga, but ping pong ball sized hail is a possibility heading into the evening hour. So that's one of the reasons they do have the watch up for these storms, and damaging winds up to 65 miles per hour. Need 58 mile an hour to be a severe thunderstorm. So, we're thinking maybe even a little bit more than that as we head on in towards the rest of the evening. So we're going to keep an eye on it. That's why you see me keep watching my phone here to see if the National Weather Service is going to be extending that any farther to the south and east. Earlier It was just Fannin, Gilmer, and then down through Bartow, Cherokee, and Floyd counties, and then Polk, Haralson, Carroll, and Paulding were added after that. So we'll see if they add any more counties off to the south and east with this line that continues to move on through. And it's a pretty impressive line here. Again, seeing a lot of lightning with this as it continues to push off towards the east. It's a slow-moving system, so it's only moving about 20 miles an hour. Some of these cells moving about 25 miles an hour to the east. So, we are talking maybe another hour before this portion over here in Anniston gets to the Georgia state line. And then we're talking maybe another hour before maybe this stuff in Rome starts to make its way across, Lake Altoona and I-75 in Bartow County and eventually over into Canton as we head into an hour and a half from now. So it's just something to keep in mind. This is not going to be something that stops as we go into the evening hours and starts to lessen after sunset. We're going to watch this line continue to hold on to that potential severe, criteria as we head throughout the next few hours. So that's why we're, again, going to be watching for that potential for showers and storms to continue, not only for our northern counties. And there you see we do have another severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. I'm going to look down and see what exactly it is. Obviously, it's for Gordon County, for folks into the Calhoun area. It's going to be issued for the potential for quarter-sized hail, and you'll be able to see that as we get into, let's zoom on in here. So the biggest hail threat's going to be in southern Murray County down through Resaca and over in towards the Damascus area. So something that we're going to continue to watch as we head into the evening. Mainly, the hail really has been something we've been seeing the most as we go through the afternoon and into the evening hours tonight. Sorry, I'm typing in a message into the chat to try and get a little more information here. So, severe thunderstorm warning for Gordon in Georgia. West Central Pickens County included, same for Bartow. This is going to last, here we go, until 8:15 p.m., and you can see this here. It's a severe thunderstorms located along the line extending from Audubon to Calhoun, and it's moving east at 30. So remember I said earlier 20 to 25 miles an hour. This particular one, I picked up the speed a little bit, looking at about 25 miles an hour. But one of the things to notice is in this radar scan, as we take a look at this particular area in southern Murray County and also into northern Gordon County, this didn't really move as we went into the last few radar scans. So even though the overall thing is moving at 30 miles an hour, sometimes the heaviest lines are not going to be moving as quickly as the actual line itself. And wherever you see that black or that white and that darker pink start to pick in, that's where we have the biggest hail threat from this line as we go into the rest of the evening hours. That's just the color that you really want to kind of keep an eye out for. So looking back towards the overall map picture, we're going to be seeing basically the showers and storm threat continuing as we head into the evening hours. There we go. I was just trying to get that map there to stop. It's easier for us to see what's going on if it's not quite looping all the time. As we go on in towards the rest of the area, we do have a few isolated cells that are popping up ahead of this. So we do have this particular cell over Forsyth County about to move over the Lake Lanier area, one in southern Pickens County near Dahlonega, and another one in northern Hall. These are starting to fire up. They're staying below the severe criteria, which is some great news there. But notice that particular cell in Lumpkin County does have a lot of lightning with it. And we're going to continue to monitor these. Well, again, you'll see me look down every once in a while because I kind of want to see what's going on in the chat room. And there we go. Basically, we're all just kind of waiting and seeing for this line of showers and storms to move on through. So let me go ahead and go to, that's my HER model. Where's my graph? There's my graph model. This is, the graph has been, we have two models, the HER and we have the graph. The HER is just shorthand for the HRRR. Graph stands for something that's just escaping my mind right now. But graph has been doing a much better job as we go into the evening hours. So I'm going to take a look at that. And you'll notice that as we get into 9, 10 o'clock, most of this does stay north of the metro area. But that line will continue to slide on to the east, maybe affecting Atlanta and portions of western Douglas County and Cobb County as we get into maybe the 9 o'clock hour this evening. It'll continue to push off to the north and east, getting up towards Gainesville, again, Helen, areas that have already seen their rounds of severe weather earlier today by the time we get to 11. And then just scattered showers and storms overnight with more possible as we head into tomorrow. Again, tomorrow we're going to be looking for more rounds of rain that are going to be pushing on through. Let's go ahead and pull that up for you because I want to time out tomorrow's threat as well. So your 7-day forecast shows tomorrow 70% chance of showers and storms. That's why it is a first alert weather day. And as we kind of pull out the map there, we'll start the day off quiet. Round one starts to move in late in the morning towards the possible noon hour as we get into the metro area, continues as we go through about 4 o'clock, and then the final round will start to move through as we head into the late afternoon, early evening. That final round is the front itself, and that's where we could see the potential for some very strong winds. You can see that. Notice from Helen down towards Atlanta how it goes from green to yellow to red real quickly on the Futurecast. That is the indicative nature, especially with that bow shape, that curve shape, of some very strong straight line wind. So that's really what we're going to be watching as we go into the evening hours for tomorrow. Meanwhile, as we get into the afternoon hours, the storms roll through, and then the overall evening picture shows, look at that, in Alabama, 10 o'clock, yeah, a few pop-ups with the front, but drier skies. And that's going to be leading us to a beautiful forecast as we get into Sunday. So that's one of the things that we're looking at for tomorrow. As we head into the basically the picture, I want to see here, folks are kind of chiming in online. What time do the storms weaken? It's really not going to be for another few hours or so. So obviously they're going to be moving through northwest Georgia over the course of the next 30, 45 minutes, but they're not really going to weaken until we get, I'm looking at the clock now, so I can give you an accurate estimate, until we get to about 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. And that's when we'll start to see the storms weaken. Now, even though they'll be weakening, we may start to see that transition in North Georgia from a severe threat to a flash flood threat, mainly because of the topography up into Pickens County, White County, up in towards Habersham, Raven counties. So all of that northeast corner of the state, terrain there makes it a little more susceptible to flash flooding, and it won't take a lot of rain because they've had so much already today and really already this week. Another one says, looking like a rough night for Hall County and north into Dahlonega. Yes, it does. We're going to continue to watch this as we go into the evening hours and into the early overnights. Again, first round should be through those areas by the time we get into basically the 11 o'clock midnight time period. So that's just one thing that we're going to keep in mind there. Overall, though, this is a very active system. You know, it's the reason that we do have that first alert weather day for you. And I do want to emphasize right now that the two strongest cells that we're watching are the ones that are going to be moving into Fannin and Gilmer County right now. So Blue Ridge, Ellijay, heads up. You're not under a warning right now, but very strong storms are going to be pushing into your area over the course of the next 20 to 30 minutes. Lots of intense lightning with this. Also, we can see that we have a lot of pink in here, so that's indicative of some hail. Some of that, again, has the potential to be quarter-sized in some of the heavier places, and we've already kind of seen that in southern Murray County, folks in Gordon County, Calhoun right now getting rocked. So if you're going to be heading off to the Buc-ee's in that area, I know a lot of people like to stop there. It may be a good idea with the large potential hail that's in that area, mainly south of Resica and north of Damascus, right there off the interstate, but also possibly to the west of Calhoun, and a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain with this particular storm. Also, again, that's what's moving up through Chatsworth right now, and then over in towards the Tenga area. It's already moved through you, and then starting to make its way towards McKaysville for folks over into Fannin County. And the other strong storm that we're watching right now is not quite into our area, but it is starting to get closer. And you notice with this particular one, we do have some very dark colors as I zoom into the northwest of Jacksonville, Alabama here. So again, this is not quite in our viewing area yet, but it is moving in towards Cleburne County. So folks who are going to be over in towards the Heflin area, over towards Fruithurst, you're going to be seeing a lot of this start to move into your area. And basically, and I'm sorry, that's not Cleburne County, that's Randolph County. We're already seeing those cells in Cleburne County continue to push off towards Harrison and Floyd counties right now. So my apologies to those who are watching in Alabama. I did get that county name wrong. But we'll continue to watch this as we get in towards the rest of the afternoon. Now, a little bit farther to the south, we're going to see that not much is happening between Lineville and Wedowee over onto Lake Wedowee here. And then we're going to be seeing, that basically start to deteriorate over the course of the next hour or so. Because again, I want to emphasize we only have the one radar turned off. So it's not that these storms are getting weaker as we go south. They're just farther away from the radar beam. But as you notice, the closer they get, the more they're going to start to become a little more apparent on the radar itself. As we go in towards, I'm looking at Morum, looks like lots of fairs are going to be rained out this weekend. I wouldn't say maybe rained out. We're going to see brief periods as we go through the day where it's not going to be raining. I will say by Sunday, if you're having your fair on Sunday, it's looking absolutely gorgeous. It's Saturday that really is the issue here. I know Pickens County is having their fair this weekend. Unfortunately, it does look like the rain off and on is going to be an issue for you guys up there. I don't know the details on if it's a 2-day event, so Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, if it is there, would definitely be the best of the 2 days. But if for folks who are going to be setting up there tonight for the event, that storm is going to be starting to make its way into your area, towards the Jasper area, as we head into the next hour. So speaking of which, that storm we were talking about up into far western Fannin and Murray County now has in fact triggered that warning for the majority of Fannin and Gilmer County. So Blue Ridge and Ellijay, we were talking about, it is in your area soon. Well, guess what? They just issued the warning, so that's why you see me looking down, trying to get the most of it. So we are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning lasting until 8:45 for Blue Ridge and Ellijay. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail are going to be the main threats with this. So we're not seeing the storm weaken as it continues to push off towards the east. Again, a lot of intense lightning here. Folks from McKaysville down to Blue Ridge, over towards Morganton are seeing the extreme, chance for severe weather. Big Bald Mountain over to Ellijay, and then down into the southern county, Carter's Lake. And in fact, Carter's Lake, it's almost down on top of you. So if you're in that area, go ahead and find your safe place. Because again, if you've watched our coverage over the past 2 days, it does not take, I know a lot of folks say, oh, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. It doesn't take a tornado to cause damage. We had a partial roof collapse at a building in Alpharetta today from a severe thunderstorm. If you watched our coverage from last night, we had some pretty good damage in the Rome area over into Floyd County from a severe thunderstorm. For a lot of these folks over into the North Georgia area, you've had a lot of rain as we've gone through the past few days, and because of that, the ground is saturated. It's not going to take as much wind as you would think to knock down some of these older trees when the root system is not as strong due to that moisture that's going to be in the soil. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's one of the threats that we're going to be looking at as we head into the evening hours. I want to go back here. Let's zoom out just a little bit. So for now, for Metro Atlanta, again, I think this is going to be over an hour away from you. We're talking maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before it starts to get into the metro area, including Douglas, Cobb, over in towards the Cherokee County areas. Carroll, Haralson, Polk counties, it's going to get to you a little bit quicker. And I do want to re-emphasize that those are the areas that are under the severe thunderstorm watch until we get into 11 p.m. Our Alabama counties until 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's where we have the biggest threat for severe weather. I think once we get east of these areas, maybe some of that will start to kind of die down just a bit. But overall, we are going to be seeing that the threat for the severe weather will continue as we head over the next hour or so into basically the 9 o'clock hour in towards 10 o'clock, and then maybe a little bit of weakening at that point. So overall, it's just something to kind of keep in mind. Now, I know a lot of you tune in because you want to know your forecast for the rest of the weekend. Heading into Sunday, again, the best of the 2 days this weekend. We'll start off with some morning fog, basically because the moisture at the soil is going to be radiating up into the lower level of where we can kind of see. That's going to cause the humidity to rise and the fog to form. Now, by the afternoon, the sun burns all that off. We're going to be seeing mostly sunny skies. In fact, downright sunny by the evening with temperatures into the low 70s. Some folks may not, especially in West Georgia and North Georgia, may not get out of the 60s. To put that in perspective, the morning low in this Atlanta area this morning was 66. So some folks may not on Sunday get as warm as what they woke up to today. So it just kind of goes to show you the flip-flop behind this front. Cinco de Mayo is on Monday. For those of you who have outdoor plans, I know a lot of folks like to go out to their favorite restaurants, maybe hit the patios. We're not going to be seeing any issues out there whatsoever. In fact, we're going to be noticing that we'll be doing cold starts for this time of year. A lot of folks outside the perimeter are going to be waking up to the 40s on Monday morning, and again Tuesday morning as well, with the afternoons in the mid to upper 70s. Again, these are low humidity days, so that 74 on Monday is not going to feel anywhere near as warm as the 74 we saw earlier this week. It's going to feel much more comfortable. 78 on Tuesday, and then by Wednesday is our next first alert weather day. Models are becoming a little bit more together in that we're going to see another chance for showers and storms. I know we've only got it 40 right now. We'll probably up that as we go into the next few days. And then we'll continue to watch that trend as we head through Thursday and Friday, because notice the temperature's going up, but so are the morning lows. And that tells us there's more moisture in the atmosphere for these impulses to tap into. And we're going to just be in another unsettled weather pattern beginning on Wednesday, lasting through Thursday and Friday, and possibly on into next weekend as well. So enjoy that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. while you can, because they're going to be pretty good days out there as we go into the beginning of next week. Again, all right, so we do have now a severe thunderstorm warning for our Alabama counties. You can see that was just issued there. And you know what that means. I got to go back into the chat and kind of see what's going on. So we're going to be looking at a severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne and Randolph counties. So that's going to be Heflin, Wedowee, Lineville, Roanoke, Woodland. All those are going to be looking at the potential for severe weather. It is for quarter-sized hail, the possibility of 60-mile-an-hour winds. Pretty standard fare for this line of showers and storms, and it will be lasting until we get to 8:15 Central Time. So that's going to be at least until 9:15 Eastern, so we got about another hour and a half on that. That is a long time for a warning, but given how these storms are moving and the National Weather Service wanting to get the heads up that no, they don't think this line of storms is weakening, they want to give you as much of a heads up as we go into the evening hours. And if you're wondering why a lot of these warnings stop at the state line, I know a lot of you know this, but we'll just let you know, they're two different National Weather Services. So our Georgia counties, for the most part, are going to be out of Peachtree City. Our Alabama counties are going to be out of the Birmingham area, so that's why a lot of the times you will see these thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings whenever we do have them, just like stop at the Georgia state line. It's not because that's where we think the threat is going to end. It's just kind of more of a jurisdiction thing. So there's your fun fact for the evening, if you didn't already know that. I know a lot of folks like to head out to the lake as we go into the evening hours. The little squiggly line you see from Wadley all the way up to the top here is the Tallapoosa River. Lake Wedowee is in the middle of that between Lineville and Wedowee itself. So for those of you who are going to be heading out to the lake this evening, you might want to stay off the water as we get into the next hour and a half or so until these storms pass. You never want to be out in the water during, especially even if it's not a lot of wind and hail, it just ends up being heavy rain. It's a lot of lightning, and obviously the water is not the place you want to be when that happens. So again, watching basically, I'm going to zoom out here because I know the radar's not covering the whole thing because we've only got the one turned on, but from Andrews, North Carolina, all the way down towards Tallapoosa, Alabama is one straight continuous severe thunderstorm. It's a line of storms that are pushing through. All of them are warned. That's over 200 miles there. So it just kind of goes to show you how much we're going to be watching this as we go into the evening hours. Our Clay County, North Carolina County is not included, but I wouldn't be surprised Hayesville, if you get included in this next batch of warnings that's going to be pushing through into the next hour or so. Again, we do have some pretty strong storms popping up along Lake Lanier, the northern portion of Lake Lanier, some small hail with that. Another little one over Dahlonega here, so that's Pickens County, over towards the extreme southeast Forsyth County and western, Hall County here, so Forsyth, Hall, and then over into Pickens County, and then up into the Lumpkin County area. So a lot of showers and storms kind of popping up ahead of this, but they're not severe. We're saving most of that severe line for the folks who are going to be back out into the west. All of this, though, is moving out towards the east. We'll continue to watch that as we go in towards the evening hours. I'm going back and seeing... so because earlier someone had mentioned they saw either a funnel cloud or maybe a tornado over the Lake Lanier area, and we're kind of seeing maybe some pictures indicating that. Obviously, we're going to wait for confirmation from the National Weather Service. And even Steffi, I can't pronounce your whole handle there, is saying that she saw it too. So, we're starting to get video in from that area. So that wasn't a warned storm. And it goes to show you, even though the tornado threat is low for today, it's not zero. So it is something that we're going to be kind of keeping an eye out for. So that's another reason why we kind of zoom over here every once in a while, let you know about these storms. Even though they don't have a warning, it is something that is worth watching as we go into the evening hours. So just kind of keep that in mind. Some of these pop-ups will be strong, and then we'll continue to watch that through the evening, and then we'll track these storms. Notice the one over Rome has started to weaken just a bit, so that is some good news there. It looks like the energy is kind of getting pulled away from the center of this line here. So, folks in Floyd County, you are under that severe thunderstorm warning. Expires as we get towards 8 p.m., so in about 5 minutes or so. And a lot of these, there we go. They just issued the severe thunderstorm warning for Hall County. It lasts until 8:30. Let's see exactly what they're warning it for. This is going to be mainly for hail. So the wind threat for these out ahead of the line is not that impressive. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. I want to move this up here and out of the way because I can't really turn it on. There we go. But wherever you see these pinks, that's where we do have the threat for hail. So quarter-sized hail possible along this northern portion of Lake Lanier on the border between Forsyth County and Hall County. Moving off to the northeast, looks like to be a very slow-moving cell, just based on the way they drew the polygon or the shape of the warning here. Yeah, northeast at about 30 miles per hour. And we're going to continue to see over Dahlonega, you're getting hammered right now. Not a severe storm, but maybe some pea-sized hail with this one. And yeah, Jessica's saying I've seen 3 funnel clouds over Lake Lanier videos. So yeah, if you're watching this and you have any of those, just email them into us here at the station. Hold up, Jordan. Hey, Jordan. What's the number folks can text in their pictures and stuff? Would you be able to look that up for me? Yeah. So 470-777-9263. So for those of you who are watching, if you do have any of those videos or those texts, 470-777-9263 would be a great way to get those in for us. We'd love to see them for you and be able to share them out for folks. So, you know, again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Forsyth, Hall, and Lumpkin County. This goes until 8:30. I'm going to see which ones of these warnings back out here are going to be dropped as we get into the 8 o'clock hour, because I know the one in Rome, we're not seeing much in the way of severe weather with that, which is good news. Unfortunately, though, it looks like that's because the southern end of this and the northern end of this are really starting to pull that energy away. Really concerned with this cell and intense lightning moving into the Blue Ridge and Ellijay area. This is going to be coming in over the course of the next 20 minutes or so. I'm going to stop moving the wrap around, I promise. To get you a little bit more of the bearings there. Intense lightning with this, pea-sized hail, and some very, very strong winds are going to be with this particular line from Blue Ridge down into Ellijay. Again, that extends down here into Gordon County until 8:15, Gilmer until 8:45 up there. This one here in Rome is until 8 p.m. This one down here is going to be until 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern. And that one's just now finally starting to get into northern Cleburne County. So Heflin, this is going to be moving your way in about the next 20 minutes or so. Lineville, Wedowee, Roanoke, you got some time. This is going to be at least another hour and a half before it starts to get into your area. They just wanted to issue that early so folks could get the heads up that we're going to be seeing some stronger weather moving your way. Going back up here to this storm, and the reason I want to is because they're talking about the storm in Pickens County. Have a nice shelf cloud here. You know, I will not be surprised if we're seeing that, because we do have that really just, you know, it's almost like a little mini supercell that's just not moving right here. And for folks over into Gilmer County, the latest report that we have is 40-mile-an-hour winds on the leading edge of this cell as it continues to move off towards the east. So just a lot of action that's going on here as we head into the evening hour. So, you know, we have the warnings that are going to be expiring at the top of the hour. We're going to continue to monitor this as we go into the rest of the evening, especially as it gets closer into the metro area. And we'll continue to watch this, and we'll break in again if we start to see more showers and storms developing. Again, we're going to continue to monitor it. Hit us up online. And then also, I'm going to throw this up here because I found it. Sorry for bugging you earlier, Jordan. I finally found the little slate here that has all the information on it. 470-777-WANF. So that's 477-47. Numbers are hard. Let me try this again. This is why we have a screen. And this is why I yell at people to help me out, because I can't do this. 470-777-9263. So there you go.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.